Hey guys, how are you going today? Welcome back to Hearns TV. So model enthusiasts and hobby aficionados, you're tuned in to me again, Dan, and I'm going to take you through an unboxing video today, guys. And the plane I've got for you today is probably the most famous fighter plane in history. You all know it, you've all heard of it, and of course it is the Spitfire. Yeah. Now, I've got here the Spitfire MK.Vb, also known as the Trop version of the Spitfire, which Trop stands for tropical, but it was also for desert as well. It had a filtration system on the engine. We'll see that when going through the parts a little bit later. But Spitfire first flew in about 1936, I'm pretty sure, and entered service in 1938 and did superbly during the Battle of Britain. There are a great many variants of the Spitfire made, actually. Just over 20,000 of them were made through all of its variants, and served with distinction in pretty much every theatre of conflict it was involved in. And it's just a beautiful plane, isn't it? British engineering and aerial prowess at its absolute finest. So anyway, let's have a look-see at this kit. So this is a Trumpeter kit, and this is actually one of their older ones. Actually, this isn't a new kit, but we got it in, and it was just so fantastic. I wanted to show it to you. And it's a 24 scale, so this is going to be a big kit, really beefy. So I'll get that out of the way. Now, let's have a look-see here, guys. All right, we'll start off with the instructions. Have a look here. Black and white, nice booklet. Open it up. There's your sprues there, and then the assembly. And you've got, you know, the inside of the cockpit, the engine, which is fairly standard sort of procedure in putting an aircraft model together. Then you go onto the fuselage, the guns, very good guns on the Spitfire MK.Vb, or I'll just call it the Trop because it's a little bit easier. Two 303 machine guns in each wing, and one 20mm cannon in each wing as well. Pretty decent firepower, and fuselage coming together. Wings, guns, yes, very nice. Easy to follow instructions, like the booklet too. And now let's have a look at the camouflage scheme. This is clearly for the desert. As you can see, I'll hold it up so you can have a closer look at it. As you see, the wings clipped at the very tips there on the Trop. They did that to enhance its maneuverability and roll rate at lower altitudes and lower speeds, to match the German aircraft. They did sacrifice a little bit of lift though. And another thing about the Trop, there it is there, the air intake. The extra air intake there for the filtration system for the engine to handle the tropical weather and the sands of the desert. Now, we'll start off with the biggest piece in there, the wings. Look at that, massive. Like I said, this is a 24 scale, so it's huge. Now, I've got to say, a little bit of a gripe. The rounded wings are attached. You will have to actually cut these off. This was I skipped over it earlier, but it's in the instructions. You have to actually physically cut these off, right, sand it back, and there's wingtips parts that go for the more square edges of the actual Trop. I think it's good, I must say, that you have both options. That you could do either the rounded wing or the clipped wing. So if you could do whatever took your fancy, but it would have been better if they were just parts that you could glue on instead of have to actually physically cutting off the ends like you see here. And if you look really closely, it looks like there's I don't know if the camera's going to capture that. It looks like there's a join mark in there. Like that might have been an option early on in the molding process. But like I said, it's a very minor gripe, and this is one of their older kits as well, so Yeah, let's have a look at some of the details here, guys, and let me show you. Beautiful indented panels. Mostly, there's a few little raised edges there, but the panel lining, the detail to the panels here is exquisite. Is very, very beautiful, and the rivets too. If you're one of those people that's a real rivet counter, like you're a real super a nerd, I'm sorry to say, when it comes to, you know, making things exact to the smallest conceivable detail, you're probably going to enjoy this kit quite a lot. And the upper side of the wings here, and this is where the guns go there. And this is the firing ports there, the 20mm cannon and the 303 machine guns. You can actually have the little lids, oh sorry, the panels for those open, so you can see the guns on the inside. But yeah, and then there's the covers for the landing gear there, and obviously the control surfaces for the rear parts of the wing. Very impressive, actually. Big, cool model. Now, moving on, let's have a look at the fuselage here and the absolutely unmistakable shape of the Spitfire, as you can see there. Once again, beautiful details, panels, rivets, excellent. This is where the cockpit, where the pilot would sit, and that would fold it down. A door there for him to get in and out, and the wing roots there, and then we've got bulkheads on the inside for going around where the cockpit would be. And you've got here for where the engine would be, because you can have an open cowling on the engine on this kit, so you can really do the details on all of the inside of the engine, all of the workings and whatnot. Now, moving along, next sprue, control surfaces. This is for the tail section of the aircraft. Once again, attention to detail is wonderful, and they've got the tail itself and then the tail planes, and then we have part of the air intake at the front for near the engine. Very, very good. I can picture that in my head coming together, and you know, doing the paint job on it for all of the desert camo that's there. And here at the front, the nose goes over the propellers, which is there, and then the unmistakable scoop at the front, the mouth that would be the air intake for the filtration system. And there's the tips of the wings there, if you cut it off and do the actual clipped version of the wing configuration for the Trop. And then parts, you're going to see this is where the parts of the engine are starting to come together there. Yes, beautiful plane, the Spitfire. Okay, probably one of the most attractive aircraft ever, not just with fighter planes as well. And some more, yes, ordnance. You get a single bomb right there, adding about 500 pounds to your overall tonnage. And then you've got there's the landing gear there, the inside, more of the air intake. That one goes under the wing, right? And then what you've got here, you've got parts of the struts for the landing gear just there and there. Beautiful details there. Once again, indented and a little bit of raised panel details there. Here we got the guns. Yeah, the 303.303 machine guns. There's the ammunition feed there, and some of the ammunition boxes. I think those are the round ones. I think those are for the 20mm cannons, which are right there. Yes, pretty decent sized shell. Even though 20mm doesn't sound like much, but it would have a pretty bad effect on if it hit you. Then we've got the pilot's seat, and then the bulkheads for the interior. The tanks that go on the inside of the fuselage. More of the ammunition feed there, and then this is all of this go next to the pilot on the interior of the cockpit. Excellent. Nearly through this one, guys. There's some really good details I want to show you at the end, which help make this kit so impressive. And yeah, more options for the nose and for the propellers again, and guys, the engine. the engine itself. See, this is where you can have the open cowling, so that you can see the engine on the inside. If you're one of the more advanced model makers, that is, of course. But beautiful details there. All of the, and it's only just like the main chunks of the engine, but all of the, well, not all, but other smaller parts like the hoses and whatnot, all would connect into there. Engines are usually, like when I show you on 48 scale ones, they're usually only made up of about 2 or 3 pieces, but this is several. Yeah, and then they're attached to the propeller. Yeah, definitely if you're more advanced model maker now. And the canopy, of course, nice sort of a bubble canopy as it pops out like that, gives the pilot a little bit better view. And then the very front, and then instrumentation there. And this is the clear parts that you can put over the front of the fuselage, which would cover over the engines. You can have them clear so that you can see, like I was saying, like you can see on the engine on the inside, or obviously just paint over the top of them. Yeah, very nice option, that one. Now, I'm going to show you, these are the 3, I didn't take them out of the packet, but the 3 resin guys, ground crew, they come with the aircraft. It's always nice when they include the crew. And one thing I like that comes with kits always is actual rubber tires. Excellent. I love that feature. And then, what do we got here? Oh, lastly, you got some photo etch parts there. And then on the inside, this is, that's not photo etch, but that's for the instrumentation to go inside of the cockpit. And just before we go, and of course the decal with the obvious roundels of the Royal Air Force there and all of the other markings. Yeah, that was a cool kit, you know. Like I said at the start, a little bit of a gripe about the tips of the wings, but that's a fairly minor complaint. Other than that, this is a cool kit. Beautiful plane. Unmistakable, huge legacy, you know, on military and aviation itself. Definitely for your more advanced model maker, this one, even though it is quite an old kit. But yeah, Trumpeter, well done on this one. I really liked it. Yeah, 24 scale is going to be big, so it's going to be really impressive when it's finished. But yeah, cool. Alrighty guys, thanks for tuning in once again and listening to me ramble on about this stuff. I hope you like this kit, and I hope you're as impressed with the Spitfire as I am. And I'll always hope to see you guys in store sometime soon. And as always, rock and roll.